Do you think it is just money driven though?
No, it's not just money driven. He knows that if he comes lacking, Crawford gonna beat him. Crawford knows if he comes lacking, Canelo gonna beat him. No, it's not money driven at all. Money just was a good reason to make the fight happen.
Terence is a tremendously skilled fighter. So is Canelo a very skilled fighter. But he doesn't have the same skill set as Terence does.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate you, man. Together, what is it in your mind?
I think he's just used to the stage. You know what I'm saying? It's a different stage, man. But I don't know, man. It's like
Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez truly delivered the spectacle boxing fans had long anticipated. In the aftermath, seasoned pros praised both the electric atmosphere and the build-up, noting Crawford's composure in handling the passionate Mexican crowd. The intensity of the fans added to the occasion, yet both fighters carried themselves with respect while shouldering the weight of history. For Canelo, it was about protecting his super middleweight legacy. For Crawford, the challenge was monumental, aiming to become a three-division undisputed champion. His calm focus and unwavering poise, however, convinced many that he undeniably belonged among boxing's elite.
Fans really well, and then towards the end of the press conference, he's so succinct and pithy in everything he says, Bud, that his supporters eventually came to the fore in the arena. He's incredibly popular. Canelo's he's not arrogant, but he's got so much self-belief. And then it's like a game of ping pong, back and forth all the time. Great atmosphere. We've had a brilliant day interviewing so many people about it. Today makes me feel really stoked about this fight now.
Stoked? It's a great word.
Stoked.
There's a lot of respect between both guys. I think they both know what they've got themselves into. Obviously, Terence is on the precipice of history. Three-weight undisputed champion, not been done in the modern era. And obviously Canelo Alvarez, he's taking a big risk here. He's fighting what everybody's saying is the smaller guy. But when he was up on that stage, both guys paying an awful amount of respect to each other, both admitting that this is a 50-50 and could go either way.
Yeah, no nostalgia. They were asked about nostalgia and the biggest fight of their lives. Neither man wants to think about those things. They know they've got an elitist fighter in front of them. Canelo, like you say, has his legacy to lose in many ways that he's created in recent times at super middleweight, being undefeated in that division for 6.5 years. Against a guy that's come up from lightweight. Let's not forget that he beat Ricky Burns to win the world title at the beginning. It's a massive ask for Terence Crawford still, but there's that feeling in all of us that he is capable of doing it. And he presents that the whole time. He's got this poker face. He's got this ability to respond in the right way to everything.
At the higher weight, Crawford proved he could command Canelo's respect by refusing to back down and standing firm in exchanges. Observers noted he didn't rely on a purely defensive, Mayweather-like approach. Instead, he stayed true to his own style, blending sharp counters with intelligent movement. Canelo's relentless pressure and trademark power reaffirmed his dominance at super middleweight, while Crawford's calm adaptability underscored his greatness. The clash carried echoes of past tests for Canelo, yet its intensity made it stand apart as something entirely unique.
68 pounds. It is going to be a bit of a mystery how he comes into this weight class. There were some rumors of a shoulder injury. I'm not putting any stock into that because I don't think we can unless there's anything official really out there. Point being, there's got a lot of question marks around Terence Crawford. This video, we are going to suppose that those question marks are answered in full force by Terence Crawford being an absolute monster at this weight class. It's a lot of assuming, but it's kind of what we have to do to see the best version of Terence Crawford in this fight. So let's assume the weight doesn't bother him. Let's assume he is fully healthy, not injured. Let's assume that Canelo's power is not too much from him coming up from 147, 154 to 168. Let's assume all that's true. How does Terence Crawford win this fight? Number one, he has to get Canelo's respect early. Terence Crawford is not going to fight this fight on his back foot, circling around the ring like William Skull or Edgar Berlanga, any of these guys that got hit by Canelo and went, ooh, no, I don't want any part of that. That can't happen. And do not forget, by the way, that Charlo was 154 undisputed champion.
When the dust finally settled after this monumental clash, many echoed the views of Carl Froch and Hamza Shiraz. Crawford's dazzling skill set, razor-sharp timing, and remarkable composure under brightest lights left a lasting impression on all who watched. Yet throughout the bout, Canelo's legacy loomed large. Having already shared the ring with legends like Gennady Golovkin and Floyd Mayweather, fights that forced him to sharpen his craft. Canelo's experience shaped his presence here. His power, still formidable, demanded respect not only from Crawford but from analysts ringside. What unfolded was a captivating balance. Crawford's frightening precision against Canelo's proven strength at the sport's highest level. In the end, the fight was less about determining who stood above the other and more about celebrating two greats. One solidifying his reputation as special, the other continuing to build upon a legacy etched in history.
Talk about Crawford, Canelo, before we move on to young Canelo.
Yeah.
Who you got for this? I mean, this is an exciting fight. What's your pick for this one?
I think Canelo's going to win rounds 8 to 10 knockout.
You think they'll get stoppage, yeah?
Yeah, I think he's going to get the stoppage. I think...
Are you basing that just on size? Or?
No. It's a little bit on size, but I think Crawford's ego is not going to let him box. You got to remember,
so you think they'll take him on?
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
think he'll do what he has to do at the start, realise it's not going to work. Later on, try and match him, and that's it.
Yeah, see, I think if Crawford's going to do the job, it's got to be boxing, moving, keeping that.
That's the only way it can be done. He can't fight him, can he?
No, he can't fight. And you're saying that he gets drawn in because he just might do because he's unbeaten. He fancies himself as a bit of a tough. Well, he's tough, isn't he? He's tough, strong. He does everything well.
Yeah.
But at this weight, but Canelo was down at welterweight when he started, up at light heavyweight, and obviously been beat, lost to Mayweather and lost to Dimitri Bivol.
Yeah.
Bivol was too much for him.
Yeah,
back down to super middleweight now, that's probably his comfortable weight. And he just think Crawford's just not big enough.
Nah, I don't think he is, man. And the thing is, with someone like Canelo, you got to either throw punches in bunches like Bivol did, or you got to be there where he respects your power, like GGG and these guys. So it sounds a bit mad, but I don't think Crawford's got either or. He's talented, one of the best fighters in our generation, but you got to remember you're going up. 2 divisions, 3 divisions.
Yeah, 2 or 3 divisions.
It's different. The game's different up there.
And Canelo's not going anywhere, is he? Because he got clips. You mentioned Bivol there, and Bivol smashed him with quite a lot of big heavy shots. Yeah. And he coped.
He took it.
Never been down, has
he? And it didn't phase him. So I don't see how Crawford can hurt him, to be fair.
The contest underscored the stark contrast between a natural super middleweight and a challenger daring to rise in weight. Canelo carried the edge of experience at 168 pounds, showcasing the toughness to absorb shots that would trouble most opponents. Crawford, in turn, leaned on sharpness, adaptability, and relentless activity to keep pace. Their exchanges revealed bursts of power, precise timing, and constant adjustments from both men, leaving the result hanging in suspense. As the later rounds unfolded, fatigue and pressure began to weigh heavily, setting the stage for dramatic, unpredictable moments in the closing championship frames.
Quite difficult to read. Canelo's not as difficult, but Canelo's just so much more experienced. And yes, they're going to look physically the same, but he's the natural 168 pounder. He's the one that's taken shots from guys that probably on a fight night weigh in nearly 200 pounds, and he's been able to eat those shots, eat them, right? I mean, we haven't seen Canelo wobbled since Miguel Cotto's brother wobbled him way back when, right? I mean, apart from that, this guy's taken shots off Gennady Golovkin. And anyone that can eat shots off Golovkin, I'm sorry, you've got my full respect, because we know how hard Golovkin hits. What will Crawford's legs look like after a few rounds against Canelo? Like, Crawford's going to have to be active. One thing Crawford's got to understand as well, it's in Vegas. If you want to beat Canelo, you got to beat Canelo. A bit like Bivol did. You've got to make sure there is no arguments. It's all said and done. I did way more work. So Crawford's got to be busy. Canelo, we just know, isn't going to revert back to Canelo of 6-7 years ago. It ain't going to happen. So what Canelo does do is he tries to hurt you with one big shot now. He won't load up. He will tap you, then bang. I think we've seen that, especially that shot he throws where it looks like he's going to go to the body, then he goes up top. He's really good at that shot. So Crawford's got to look out for that. I think Crawford wins quite a few of the early rounds. And then I think the weight of Canelo's punches, the weight in Crawford's legs start to take some impact. And I think Canelo starts to eat a lot of the second half of the fight rounds. And then I think it comes down to who can do something in 11 and 12 championship rounds. I really do believe that's how it's going to play out. I've got a feeling that Canelo will hurt Crawford.
In the aftermath, conversations naturally turned toward the issue of speed and drug testing. Some observers continue to question whether Canelo was subjected to the same level of scrutiny as others at super middleweight. Still, the fight itself remained the central focus. Both fighters displayed remarkable discipline, conditioning, and fitness that spoke to months of grueling preparation. Crawford's ability to elevate his skill set while moving up in weight earned widespread praise, while Canelo's durability, even against Crawford's sharpest shots, reminded fans why he has long ruled the division. Yet, as always, doping debates lingered, not accusations, but familiar shadows accompanying Canelo's name.
Around a whole bunch of dope people, right? His whole camp, we all know 7 people's been busted there. So how and why is no one asking about if he's been dope tested for this mega fight, right? And that's what I've been watching for. And that's why, my interest is waning, my interest, because I understand that there's people who don't care. You know what I call boxing here. BTBG. Beat the black guy. That's what I call boxing. That's what I've been seeing for years, right? Example, who gave a damn when Devin Haney was cheated with Ryan Garcia? Full of dope. All they were doing is celebrating a win, was what they were calling it, with somebody doped.
Bob Arum's reflections captured the heart of what unfolded in the ring. Terence Crawford once again displayed his trademark intelligence, blending sharp offense with seamless defensive adjustments. Canelo, on the other hand, showed that while his speed and explosiveness may no longer mirror his earlier years, his experience continues to carry enormous weight. Observers highlighted how Alvarez leaned on ringcraft rather than sheer volume, carefully pacing himself to create openings for his trademark power shots. Crawford carried the aura of a man determined to prove that elite skills can transcend divisions. The contrast between a fighter's youthful ambition and the maturity of a seasoned champion defined much of the spectacle. Arum's comment that Canelo's tools had evolved rang true. He is no longer the whirlwind of combinations from his youth, but instead a patient strategist. The atmosphere only reaffirmed Canelo's comfort under the brightest.
Are you willing to pick him over Canelo? That fight gonna happen in September at 168.
It's a big difference in weight with Canelo and Terence. But if any fighter has a chance with Canelo, it's Terence. Terence is a super talent, and he has a real chance, despite the weight disparity, to defeat Canelo. A real chance.
Who would you favor, though? Or is it just 50-50?
It's very hard because of the difference in weight. I would think that if I had to bet the fight, that I would bet Terence, because Terence has more skills than Canelo. But he's given away a lot of weight, a lot of real weight. So that matters. But again, Terence is a tremendously skilled fighter. So is Canelo a very skilled fighter. But he doesn't have the same skill set as Terence does.
Gabriel Rosado's words struck a chord as fans watched a man who has headlined global events for more than a decade. Canelo's composure under the brightest lights was undeniable, never once appearing overwhelmed by the stage. Yet Crawford, too, proved he was unfazed, carrying an unshakable calm that reflected his readiness for this moment. Experience often determines how fighters navigate high-pressure exchanges, and this clash offered no shortage of them. What the crowd ultimately witnessed was not just two men competing, but two athletes performing with remarkable poise beneath the unforgiving glare of the sport's grandest spotlight.
I feel like it's leaning towards Canelo, man.
Really?
Yeah.
And what gives you that feeling when you think about it? Is it the way he looks? Is it the way they interact together? What is it in your mind?
I think he's just used to the stage. You know what I'm saying? It's a different stage, man. But I don't know, man. It's like I said, Crawford that dude. But I don't know, man. I think Canelo gonna get it.
Is there anything that you feel like Terence is giving off that makes you feel like maybe the moment is too big, in your opinion, haven't seen it time and time again, or is it just a gut feeling you have?
No, man. I just think, man, that it's just comfortability, like as far as weight and activity. Canelo's been active, and I don't know, man. It's hard to be on your A game when you ain't fighting over a year. So, especially when you fight top level.
What makes it difficult when you've been out for a year?
It's
What
timing.
is it about coming back?
It's just that timing. It's that timing, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Richard Schaefer's reflections on Canelo's journey added real poignancy to the spectacle. From a teenage prodigy breaking into boxing to a global icon, Canelo's evolution was once again on display. His frame at 168 pounds looked entirely natural, a testament to how long he has ruled the division. Across from him stood Crawford, whose very presence at super middleweight symbolized ambition and daring. Their collision represented two distinct paths converging. Canelo's longevity and resilience contrasted with Crawford's fearless climb through divisions. The bout itself became a celebration of both narratives. The young prospect who grew into a legend and a relentless champion determined to test his limits.
Yeah, we just stepped away from just stepped on the scale, 167 and a half. Crawford has the same weight. Interesting. And so they both seem to be in great shape. Canelo is ready. He's mentally ready as well, in a great mood. Feels strong, looks strong, and is ready to perform.
My prediction: Canelo stoppage 8. It's a great fight. Two great fighters. What do you think? How does this fight unfold?
Yeah, I could see that somewhere between the 8 and 10. It's just like, I'm not so sure that that Crawford moving up to weighing in at 167 and a half pounds is really the smartest move, because I believe that Crawford is not going to win the fight based on weight. Canelo is the bigger, stronger guy. So I think what Crawford did by actually coming in so high, he gave up some of his advantages, such as speed. So I personally think that was not a smart move, but hey, we'll take it.
You've known Canelo for many, many years, almost 20 years, 19 years. Tell me about the first time you ever met him and his route to where he is right now.
It's funny, we actually were looking the other day at some old pictures, and I shared them with Canelo. It was, he was 17 years old. It was in downtown Los Angeles at the Fiesta Broadway event, the big Hispanic festival, where he showed up with Jeppo and with Eddie, and my kids were there, my 3 sons, my wife, and they were like.
Roy Jones Jr.'s perspective captured Terence Crawford's mindset with striking clarity. For Crawford, this fight was never simply about financial gain. It was about daring to measure himself against one of boxing's greatest champions. He entered the ring with a quiet conviction that radiated through his performance, trusting his skill set, preparing with precision, and carrying himself with the confidence of a fighter fully aware of his own limits and strengths. Crawford embodied belief. Observers saw flashes of brilliance that reflected this self-assurance as he adapted to challenges and displayed resilience under pressure. Jones emphasized that true greatness isn't only about stepping inside the ropes. It's about knowing you belong there. Crawford's poise transformed the bout into a statement of courage and conviction.
That level of motivation. But do you think that it is just money driven though?
No, it's not just money driven. He knows that if he comes lacking, Crawford gonna beat him. Crawford knows if he comes lacking, Canelo gonna beat him. No, it's not money driven at all. Money just was a good reason to make the fight happen. And you ask, why did he take Crawford instead of anybody else? Because this is the best money opportunity, but it's also a better situation if you look at the whole dynamics of it. Canelo gets to be the big guy.
Yeah.
In a fight where he can make the most money he probably ever made. Yeah. Why would you not want that? You understand me? So no money on the incentive, but why would I not take a fight where I'm the bigger guy? You understand me? And this guy is good, don't get it wrong, which is what gets you out of bed every day. This guy is the only guy in the 4-belt era to be unified champion in 2 weight classes. You ain't getting your behind up out of bed for him, and you don't get up out of bed for nobody.
Yeah. Look, you talk there about Crawford being the bigger guy. Everyone's really...
No, Canelo being the bigger guy.
Sorry, about Canelo being the bigger guy. Everyone's really kind of hung up on the fact that Crawford's obviously coming up 2 weight divisions. But you've said before that he naturally walks around heavier than people kind of think, that actually it's not so much about him coming up, it's about the fact that he's not boiling down as much as before. So do you think the weight is as much of a factor as people are saying it is?
No, I don't. I love guys like Crawford who follow blueprint that I set. I set that blueprint to put in their heads that just because the guy's bigger don't mean you got to lose to him. When I came in to fight Gerald Reese, I gave up a lot of weight. You understand me? But because I had the technique and the skill and the punching power to get my respect, I was able to win the fight. And I did that so that people can understand that just because a guy's bigger than you don't mean that he got to be able to beat you.
Lennox Lewis echoed a central talking point well before the opening bell: the size disparity. Canelo's natural strength at super middleweight has long been proven, with his durability against bigger opponents unquestioned. Crawford, despite moving up in weight, showcased speed, accuracy, and power that demanded respect. Yet, the issue of size lingered throughout the bout, adding tension to every exchange. For fans watching, this uncertainty elevated the drama, making each round more compelling. Lewis's perspective distilled the night's essence: a battle of skill versus size and speed versus strength.
Crawford moving up 21 pounds essentially to take on the guy at 68.
Yeah, man, Crawford's an amazing fighter. I call him Kung Fu because he fights on different styles. He's, hard to hit, and he hits hard. And he's boxing a guy that, he has to jump up in weight like 3 categories. And this man is like a body snatcher. He comes and he wears you down. So it's a great fight. He's boxed, I'm talking Canelo's boxed a lot of guys that move around. And, he's used to that type of boxing. And he's used to guys that, try and hide. But this Crawford ain't gonna hide from him. Crawford is looking to, put some punches on him and keep him at a distance. That's what I would do for Crawford. And then take his opportunity. I mean, I would say Canelo is not easy to...
That wraps up today's video. Stay tuned for more updates, highlights, and boxing breakdowns ahead.